This was a $250 phone lot. Was I scammed? Probably. But do I care? No. So, we have an iPhone 11, 64 gigs, iOS 18, 80% battery health. Have an iPhone 5S on iOS 12, 16 gigs, 97% battery health. We have an iPhone 5C on iOS 10, 16 gigs, 83% battery health. And then we have an iOS 10, iPhone 5S, 32 gigs on iOS. Not on iOS, I already said that. The battery health is 79%. So, yeah, this one is going to be in the collection for having an old iOS version. So this one's remaining untouched. So, yeah. And then this is just going to be a little phone to play around with. And then the iPhone 5S is just an iPhone 5S to see what these two phones can do still in 2025. And then this iPhone 11, my new secondary phone coming from the iPhone XR. So let's explore the phones a little bit. First, the iPhone 5S on iOS 10. Looking nice. This is version 10.1.1. Just give me a second. It wants to update to iOS 12, so I have to shut this phone off so it won't update. But yeah, iOS 10.1.1. And then iPhone 5C, 10.3, I think, something like that. Yeah, 10.3.3. And then this one, another iPhone 5S, it's, I think, 12.5.7. So let's just take a look at that. This one, I have to cover that. Yeah, iPhone 5S, iOS 12.5.3. So that's nice. And then the iPhone 11, just regular iPhone 11. I have to organize everything on here. But yeah, it's on iOS 18.3, I think, something like that. So yeah, I'm gonna sign this iPhone 5C into my iCloud. I'll be right back. So this one's preparing the iOS 12.5.7 update, which I'm gonna let it do because it's just bug fixes. But yeah, I shut the iOS 10 one off because before that one starts preparing an update, I do not want it to do that. So yeah, and here's my old secondary iPhone XR. It's resetting right now because I'm gonna sell that so I can get more little nuggets. So this is the iPhone 5C. It's now signed into my iCloud. You can see the iCloud drives right there. I don't know like what's syncing, but I don't really care either. So, all right, the iOS 10 iPhone 5S is now in the phone drawer. We're gonna be losing these phones pretty soon, cause the guy that I got these phones from, he's finding me some more older phones like iPhone 6S's and just kind of like older phones that he's gonna sell to me really cheap because these were $20 each. So $60 for the iPhone 5S's and the iPhone 5C. It was $60 in total. And then the iPhone 11 was like $190, which was kind of overpriced, but it's an iPhone 11. It's gonna be a nice secondary, and I can make most of the money back with these phones, and then I'll have the money from these phones to buy the 6S's and stuff that he finds for 20 bucks each or 25 bucks each, whatever he wants to sell it to me for. So yeah, that's the phone lot. The main one I'm really messing with right now is the iPhone 5C. See, I got like apps on it and just things to play around with, see what still works. Maybe I'll mess around with the 5S soon, see what that phone can still do and what it can still run. But yeah, I can't use the iOS 10 iPhone 5S until I figure out how to stop auto updates, because it was trying to do an update to iOS 12, but I caught it, so I turned off the internet connection so it stopped trying to update. But if that ended up updating, I would have been so mad because I didn't even get the chance to save blobs, and I have not looked into downgrading yet, so if I can downgrade, I'll definitely downgrade it down to iOS 8 or 7, whatever it came with. I think iOS 8. I'll 100% downgrade it down if I can downgrade it, but I'll also save the iOS 10 blobs in case something happens. I have those iOS 10 blobs because you never know if something happens in the downgrade process. I can always go to iOS 12 and then I can downgrade to iOS 10 with the blobs, because if the iOS 7 downgrade doesn't work, then what makes me think that the iOS 10 downgrade is going to work, especially without blobs? So yeah, it's always a risk, but I'm willing to take that risk because I like to tinker with my phones and my tech. So yeah, the iPhone 11 is pretty nice. It's my secondary. It has this privacy screen protector that I didn't even put on. It came with this screen protector. So yeah, that's cool. Yeah, here the phones are. I'll make some more videos about these phones.